Insurance, one of the top 10 insurance companies in Arizona, and the agency has been around about 53 years, and so we're going to be welcoming him on with us in just a few moments. Before we do, we want to make sure we give recognition to those who bring the show to us. We have Crexendo, which is a very large company that we're appreciative as a sponsor that does web design, social media, and phone systems, web cloud phone systems that very often cut phone bills in half. So always pay attention to that. You can reach them at Crexendo.com. We also are sponsored by Glendale Flowers, which very often brings us flowers. Sorry guys, I didn't bring flowers for you today, but didn't know if that was appropriate. From Glendale Flowers, for all the exciting and emotional times in your life, make sure you drop by Glendale Flowers on approximately 59th Avenue in Glendale. And then just up the street on 59th Avenue in Berend, just south of the 101, we have Planet Beach, who is also our sponsor. So we are grateful for our sponsors who bring us the show. What we talk about on the show is four major aspects. We talk about online advertising with subcategories of web marketing, which has a lot to do with Google and SEO, search engine optimization, social media, and we also talk about offline networking, which means boots on the ground networking, professional networking, and then working with nonprofits and getting the word out to the community about causes that truly matter. In the mix of all of that, there's some high technology and things that have to do with the development of cloud technology that we always very often talk about the aspects of technology that improve our lives. Along with the good, there are always downsides. It doesn't mean that we should throw the baby out with the bathwater, but that does mean there's bathwater surrounding the baby that we got to be aware of. So we're going to be talking today about, as the cloud was created as information that's very valuable, how social security numbers, personal information about maybe your psychological history, your health history, etc. These are things that are very important, and the government has said that these are protected records. So businesses have to be very they're responsible and should take great care of the information that they glean from you. And so that's what we've brought Don Carroll on from the LeBaron & Carroll Insurance. And we are going to be talking about what the cloud has caused. It's basically called data breach. So Don, do you want to talk about what LeBaron & Carroll is doing to help kind of plug the hole in the cloud and to stop it from raining on you?
Good. Thank you very much, Kurt. And I'm happy to be here today and talk about this. Sometimes I call it the data breach time bomb. Because basically, when one of the risks we take on as a business is the risk of compromising the storing this data. Okay, and the data, it may be in the cloud, it may be on your computer hard drive or your server in your office. It may be in a filing cabinet that's in your office. It may be a piece of paper on your desk. Okay. But the truth is, when the information that you have a fiduciary responsibility to take care of and to guard, and to the personal information that belongs to other people, when that information is compromised, then we have a data breach, and that can be pretty significant consequences.
For example, I share with them about the data breach with Sony. We want to share something that data breach that occurs inside of a business, even though it may have been negligence on their part for not taking care of it. It is sad that businesses have to go so far and so deep and take so many precautions to stop pirates and thieves from getting in there and taking care of it. But as in anything, if you have something valuable that you were keeping safe at U-Haul, and they allow people to open up those doors and steal things from the storage center, the reason you put it there is that it's there for safekeeping. So it doesn't mean that Sony is a bad company. But tell us what happened with Sony.
Well, unfortunately, I have the article and the details on there, but they did have a serious data breach with their, because they do the online gaming, and so they could keep credit cards and passwords and user IDs for, you know, what I would think probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions of customers out there. And once a breach occurred, they literally had to shut down, and it took several months before they could get back up and running. And then, of course, you've got a long time to reestablish your credibility. And if I remember right, I don't have the exact numbers, I noticed that Sony ended the year with close to a $2 billion loss, primarily because of what happened to them with this data breach.
Now, the types of costs that, to use Sony as an example, the types of costs they would run into is there are certain government regulations where they get penalized from the government that they violated, but then they are also open to lawsuits, correct? So,
that's correct.
Go ahead on that.
Well, let me back up just a little bit so we understand how come the problem is becoming so grave.
Sure,
okay?
absolutely.
And we're in a new digital age, if this is okay, Kurt.
Sure, absolutely.
There's actually an acronym that's being used out there in the world for this information. They call it PII.
Okay.
Personal Identifiable Information. PII. And that it could include a number of things: your name, address, social security number, phone number, usernames, passwords, credit card numbers, financial statements, tax returns, motor vehicle reports. It could be medical records. We can make a huge list, of what it could be. But this is personal information that people, they call that PII. And PII has now become the new currency for thieves. All right, they can take that information and sell it on a very sophisticated black market. All right, for every record that is stolen, depending on the information that they steal inside that record, they can get anywhere from 50 cents to $500 a record.
Now, as in anything, that record is worth so much more to the people who, it's kind of like somebody steals a radio out of your car. The true market value of that radio might be $1,000, but they're only going to get $150 for it tops, and somebody else is going to sell it on the black market for $600, and still $400 or $500 below its market value. But what we have here with this information, sometimes that information is so valuable that it's actually worth more on the open market than it would have been just if it had been sold as a list.
What you have here is, the thieves are making some quick cash out there. The thugs who are
organized
recruiting
crime.
Who are recruiting the thieves, okay, then they use it for all kinds of purposes, and they're making money. But I guarantee that neither group is making as much money as the businesses are losing. Like, you see, picture what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In other words,
absolutely.
the cost to the business and the cost to even the individuals who have to suffer the problems that are associated with having their information stolen far exceeds in the money that the thieves are making out of it.
I'm actually, for once on the air, I might actually disagree, but we're going to find out after break what it is that I'm going to disagree, because I think the thieves actually can earn a lot more when they leverage it properly. So if you're a thief, stop listening. If you want to know how thieves to keep them away from what's about to happen to your business, unless you get a hold of Baron and Carol with the data breach, tune in after the break. And of course, we absolutely love to have these obscene profit breaks, as other people in the business may say. So we'll be right back after this break, and don't go away, and otherwise it may cost you millions of dollars.